Here now is the news in details. The strike by the Belize National Teachers Union continued today across the country. Classes at most schools were interrupted and those where students were minuscule. At St. Francis Xavier Primary School in Esperanza, the building was totally closed. A few miles away at the St. Barnabas Anglican School, only the principal was present. A few of the Standard 6 students were in class and some form of teaching was underway. The rest of the school was closed as no other teacher or students were present. Down at the St. Hilda's Anglican School, all of the classrooms were empty and no teachers were present. Today's interruption marked the 8th day of teachers' strike, which was implemented by the BNTU to force government's response to their list of demands centered on good governance. And speaking about that list of demands, meeting between BNTU and Prime Minister Dean Barrow was held this afternoon at the Biltmore Hotel in Belize City. We will have details of what came out of that meeting in our next newscast. And while most of the nation's classroom has been empty for the last week and a half, for students at schools administered by the Adventist Church in Cayo District have been opened. Teachers and students have been attending classes as per normal. This week, a group of teachers from the United States have been conducting education exchange training at 4 primary schools around Cayo District as part of the Belize Education Project. TNC News stopped in at the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School this morning to catch up with what the group has been doing.
So we have 19 with us this time, and we're doing some of the similar kinds of things we've always done, where we go into classrooms and spend that time teaching, co-teaching with the teachers in Belize, and then in the afternoon we have workshops, and we divide them out by lower division and upper division, and each teacher kind of has their own place that they go and work with the groups.
We're today at the Eden Seventh-day Adventist Primary School, but this isn't the only institution taking part.
That's right. We have a team of teachers here at Eden, and we have a team of teachers at Bullet Tree at Bullet Tree Seventh-day Adventist School, and Hills of Promise in Benkei, and then we have a team of teachers at Buena Vista Government School.
What has been the response from the teachers that you're working with? Are they appreciative of the outreach that you're doing?
I feel like we have a really good relationship with them. I think that we really try to look at them as colleagues, and that it's really through solidarity, and that we're working together, and that there's not one expert and one person that's receiving all the knowledge, but we're really sharing it. And I think that conversation really helps that relationship. I also think having come here as much as we have, this is my 10th time here, and having so many of the teachers come up to the United States, because we bring a team of teachers from Belize up to our homes, I think the relationship is a good one, so that we really can have those good conversations with each other.
The Chief Education Officer visited with you this morning. What was that like, and what was her response?
She's really been such a good supporter of us for a long time. She herself has come up to Colorado and visited our classrooms when the Belize teachers have come. She seems just has expressed appreciation. I've certainly expressed to her how incredible her teachers are. She probably knows that, but I'm just in awe. She was happy that we are talking about things that I think everybody believes is better for instructional practice, differentiating and meeting kids' needs.
Now, you all are not just doing arts and craft like people seem to think, that whenever you come from the U.S., that's all you come to do in the classrooms
Bring
here.
your Google eyes and glitter, right? Yeah, no. We're really looking at ways to differentiating writing instruction and reading instruction, and really looking at comprehension in reading and how to really make that happen. So our conversations, as much as we enjoy the glue and glitter, aren't too much about that. They're really about how do we get sight words, and how do we get kids to comprehend and ask questions of the text that they're interacting with, and how we can get our kids to be lifelong learners and critical thinkers and really understand what they're reading.
How long will the group be in Belize this time?
A week. It's always 1 week here, and then 1 week in April when they come visit us.
So after this, have you already chosen the teachers who will go up next April?
We actually haven't. We're always do that. That's a balancing act. Part of it is the team that has really been impressed. Part of it is who the principals have really noticed, and also their peers who have really believed that these teachers can come back and give great input. And the nice thing is that it's every year, so we're really starting to get more and more teachers. Like for instance, at Bullet Tree, of their 9 teachers, 7 of them have already been to the United States. So hopefully at some point everybody will get to go.
What has been the response of the students to your being in the classrooms?
I think they enjoy, of course, just the energy of somebody else and different. I think, of course, they like the school supplies. I think that they also really appreciate and know that teachers are across the world. One really fun thing is that we're all teachers, so we all have classrooms. So, excuse me, our classrooms back in Colorado have designed learnings for the kids at Belize, and they do a sharing. And I kind of want to point out, it's not back to the glitter and the, Google Eyes or whatever, that the students in the United States have designed things like critical thinking maps and how to organize your writing, those kinds of things. And same, when the students from Belize come to the United States, they're really talking about symbolism, symbols of Belize, and how that reflects their culture and their people. And again, getting past the arts and crafts.
Good to have you back in Belize.
It's so wonderful to be here.
The Belize Education Project Exchange will culminate on Friday. During the course of the first quarter of 2017, a group of Belizean teachers will travel to the U.S. state of Colorado for a similar exchange. The inaugural meeting of the Special Select Committee set up to investigate the Auditor General's report on and nationality was held on Wednesday in Belmopan. That meeting was supposed to have selected a chairman for the committee, but that did not happen as none of the senators present would take up the chairmanship pending instructions from their respective institutions. The government senators both agreed that they would prefer that the chairman of the committee come among the social partners. The second meeting of the committee is scheduled for next Wednesday, at which time a chairman will be chosen, even if it is one of the government. Today, the People's United Party sent out a statement criticizing the government for what the opposition says is, and we quote, the apparent determination of the government to railroad the selective of an impartial and effective Senate Select Committee and to hijack the investigation, end of quote. The PUP release goes on to say, and we quote, it is crystal clear that this UDP administration has no intention whatsoever of allowing objective scrutiny into the corruption within its ranks. As a duly elected opposition with a mandate to serve the people, we are dismayed that the government refuses to listen to strident calls for good governance. The demands are for the implementation of measures that would provide critical imbalances in government and would restore integrity to a governance system which has gone completely awry. On Wednesday, at a special general meeting of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the membership resolved that the chamber would not participate in the Senate Select Committee as it now stands. The membership of the business sector also voted overwhelmingly for a nationwide shutdown if the government of Belize does not comply with the demands for good governance. Even at that meeting, UDP operatives blatantly attempted to hijack the process, revealing to what depths the government will go to protect itself from scrutiny and to continue on this path of brazen corruption, end of quote. The PUP statement ends by saying that the party stands in solidarity with the membership of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry in its call for a nationwide shutdown. The PUP says it also stands with the BNTU, our teachers, the utility unions, and any entity that demands good governance and who are fighting for an end to corruption that affects everyone. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. We will have more of the day's stories for you right after these messages.